On this episode, we battle the live-action Disney remakes in a March Madness bracket to see who comes out on top. Today is March 26, 2024. This is episode 653 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. You can also find us on TikTok at MSM Podcast. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you're planning that trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you did not get the advanced dining reservation that you so desperately wanted, don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. And then finally, if you're getting ready to plan that next trip to Disney or Universal, you're looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere in the world, head out for a free quote at mainstmagictravel.com. Our travel services are completely free to you.
So it's March Madness still.
Woohoo!
And everybody, I hope your brackets are not busted. Those of you that do follow along in the college basketball.
Zero perfect brackets.
Oh.
Out of 22 million.
That makes sense.
And I think that was ESPN as of last night. So
yeah, you Florida people, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You wanted the Gators to win. They did not.
That was a good game.
There
were lots of good games
That was
yesterday.
crazy.
Yeah, we're recording on Saturday, so let's not make any predictions. This comes out on Tuesday.
Yep. Nope.
But we have not done well with predictions when it comes to sporting events, and we record early.
Nope.
Doesn't go well.
So I'm not going to say anything except if you're doing well, congratulations. If you're not, I'm sorry. But with that being said, we are doing a live action bracket challenge. That is the live action movies of Disney that dates back to 2010. That
Remakes.
is right. Remakes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, remakes.
What did I
so
say?
you just said live action. These are live action remakes of movies. So we decided to go back to 2010, which I think was like the relaunch of this whole
14 years
decade.
though.
I know. And that started with the Alice in Wonderland movie. So we're not going to go prior to that, which would include like the Glenn Close 101, 102 Dalmatians. You know, there were a few before that.
Though.
They're very, very good. But so we decided to go back from 2010 because I felt like that was the resurgence of live action where we got all of these that would follow. Yeah. Basically 15 movies in total. So after we finished recording this episode, it didn't take long until Rhonda and I figured out we did forget one movie, which would have rounded this out to an even 16 for the bracket challenge. That movie was 2016's Pete's Dragon, which starred Robert Redford and Bryce Dallas Howard. We went back, we looked at the stats and figured out where it would have ranked and what it would have changed in the overall bracket and the seeds. In the end, it was not going to change the grand scheme of this. It was not going to change what ended up being our final four. It would not change who made it to the finals, and it would not change the winner, who was... Oh, wait, no. You got to listen.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
We're not going to include sequels like the Maleficent sequel or Through the Looking Glass, which was the Alice in Wonderland sequel. We're going with those original ones.
Okay.
So we don't have a third party.
We do not, because I think we're going to be pretty spot on, me and you together. But we do have our trusty quarter.
We do. We have a quarter in case it does come down to a tiebreaker.
And there's a couple of them just in case.
In case I lose one. And what we usually try and do, if when we do just the two of us, is if we do have a different answer on who should move on, we usually try and persuade the other one first. Mm-hmm. And if we just can't budge, then we go ahead and we flip the coin. And then the coin tells all. And that will pick the winner.
Yeah.
But another reason, really, we don't have anyone else is because most people don't like these live action remakes. And
I don't know why. I love them.
I don't either. There's various reasons.
And I love the old ones.
I do. And you can love both. That's the great part.
Yes.
You can love one. You can love the other. You can love both. You can not like the live action remakes. I don't have any problem with that, but give them a chance. And so we went out to social media to just get an idea.
Oh, uh-oh.
And so we'll start actually on Twitter. And I only had 3 options. and then we'll talk about the Facebook one. So my 3 options was basically, are you a fan of the Disney live action remakes / reimagined movies, which we like to call them reimagined?
Correct. Yes.
So
100%.
Yeah.
I would have gone with that word first, then remake, but because it is reimagined.
Yeah.
So.
They are. A lot of them are reimagined. They
tell more of the story.
They tell more of the story. You know, when you look back at some of these movies originally, they didn't have the means to do them in live action. You could do a lot more with animation than you could with actually doing live action, CGI, things like that. So, you know, effects, they've been able to come a long way.
All right.
A lot of these movies are for a newer generation. You know, they are for our kids who have seen a lot of the animated originals, but some of them, they just prefer the live action. So, you know, in my opinion, I don't think it has anything to do with, you know, running out of ideas. That's the first thing everybody says. Can't we have new ideas? Okay, let's have new ideas. Then watch what they do box office wise. Nothing. So Disney is going with where the money is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the right thing.
Right.
I would love to see brand new animated movies and princess movies and live. I would love to see new ones. They don't tend to do well.
Yeah.
So that's why they go this route. But asking that question, I had 3 answers in the poll. Love the remakes, do not like the remakes, refuse to watch them. 25.3% said love the remakes. 53.3% said do not like them.
Oh, goodness.
And then 21.3% said refuse to watch them.
Wow.
Which I just find dumbfounding, but that's fine. If you don't want to watch them, don't watch them. I don't know why you wouldn't at least give them a chance, but maybe that's just me. But you're looking at basically 74% don't really want anything to do with these. And
that just cracks me up because, and I would love to like almost know why in the aspect of like, I as a child watched Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, all the ones that we're going to talk about. And I as a child would, as a live person, would dress up and want to be. So I think me going, all right, I would love to see this animation, this fake turned into real. Yeah. So that's where I mean, dare I say you're not a true Disney, but no, well, just kidding.
And as you listen to this episode, we are obviously both huge fans of a majority of the live action remake, reimagined movies. Rhonda and I love these movies. We do.
I do.
And we love the originals. We love the animated. We love the live action. We love them both.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll talk about maybe which ones we prefer. And not that we're saying we love all of the remakes, but we'll talk about this as we go through. Now, I went up to Facebook with the same 3 selections.
Okay.
I forgot to check the mark that says do not let people add, but there were 2 really good additions that I should have included originally.
Okay.
So now we have love the remakes, do not like the remakes, refuse to watch them. Clayton added, and this was a great one. They're fine, but did not need to exist in the first place. So it's saying, hey, I actually like them. They're not bad, but I don't really think we needed them. And that's very fair. And then Alicia said, I like some, dislike others. That's a really good one.
That's a really good one.
And honestly, that's probably where you and I fall.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
And I would change the word like to love because we love some of these movies.
Yes.
And other ones you're like, I could have done without that one.
Yeah.
So, love the remakes, scored in at 22%. Do not like the remakes with 17%. Only 2% said refuse to watch them. So it's a very different clientele.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. With Twitter and with Facebook.
And then they're fine, but did not need to exist. Got 34%. I like some, dislike others, 25%. So if you really add those up to the do not like and refuse to watch is only 19%. The other 3 are some variation of liking the movies.
Well, and I think it's funny
liking
that
some, like
both that were added beat your love it.
Oh, yeah. No, they were great additions.
Yeah.
They were great additions. And it would be interesting if I had put those same on Twitter. I think we would have seen something that varies. So.
Possibly.
All right. As always, we've got these all seated.
Yeah.
And, you know, and now there's 15 of them. I will say this. There is one that we decided to leave out. The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nicolas Cage. Came out, I want to say it was early 2000s. It is a
I don't remember that one.
I don't believe we've seen it, but it is a full live action movie based on basically the scene from Fantasia. So it's not a true like full retelling reimagined. So that's the only one we left out, and that's why we ended up with 15 seeds. But there have been 16. Again, not counting those sequels. So here's how we came up with it.
Okay.
Went to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
And took both their tomato meter,
Okay.
which is basically what they use from critics, basically critics. I mean, it's basically critics' scores of movies.
Right.
Then we took the audience score, which is any one of us who's not a critic goes out and rates the movie.
Okay.
And took the average of those.
Okay.
Then, based on the average, we seeded them from 15 down to 1. If any two had the exact same average, then we went to the box office. Whichever movie had the bigger box office got the higher seed.
Okay.
So, we're going to go through these. All right. We're going to start off with our number 15 seed, which was straight to Disney Plus, Pinocchio. The original was in 1940. The remake came out on September 8th, 2022 at a budget of $150 million. A live-action remake of Pinocchio was first pitched to Disney by Jim Henson in 1985, but Disney turned it down.
Wow.
Now,
That's a long time ago.
Imagine if that one had happened, though.
Woo-wee.
That could have been pretty cool. This came out to a tomato meter of 28% and an audience score of 27%. So our 15 seed was an average of 27.5%.
Okay.
Next up, we have Peter Pan and Wendy, which is based off the 1953 Peter Pan. This came out April 28th, 2023, straight to Disney Plus for a budget of $170 million. Will Smith, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jim Carrey were all considered for the role of Captain Hook.
Wow. And who was it again?
It was Jude Law.
That's right.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey obviously would have killed it, but I think it would have been super hard to not just watch Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true. Yeah.
Like, it would be hard to separate him into saying, that's not Jim Carrey, that's Captain Hook. You'd be like, that's Jim Carrey as Captain Hook.
Right.
So, tomato meter was 64%. The audience score, however, was 11%. So this comes out at 37.5, and that's what made them our 14 seed. Coming in at number 13 is Dumbo, based off the 1941 animated classic. This came out March 29th, 2019 to theaters. This budget was $170 million, and worldwide it grossed over $353 million.
Jeez.
Still a success by number-wise. This was filmed entirely on a soundstage. Not even the outdoor scenes were exterior shots.
Holy crow. That's crazy.
Tomato meter score was 46 and the audience score was 48. That gives it an average of 47%. So there's our 13 seed. Coming in at number 12 seed is based off the Alice in Wonderland 1951 animated movie. This came out March 5th of 2010 with a budget of $200 million. It did okay because worldwide it grossed over $1 billion.
Holy crow.
So not bad, especially going back to 2010. Johnny Depp, who says that he likes an obstacle while filming, admitted that he found the process of filming in front of a green screen exhausting and that he felt befuddled by the end of the day, which probably lent very well into his Mad Hatter character.
Yeah.
So, this had a 51% tomato meter and a 55% audience score, so it only had a 53% overall average. So there's our 12 seed. Next is the straight to Disney Plus Lady and the Tramp, based off the 1955 animated movie. This released November 12th of 2019. This only had a budget of $60 million. Several of the dog actors were rescue cases, and each one was adopted prior to the film's completion.
Oh, that's
Cool?
awesome. I love that.
This actually had a tomato meter score of 67%, audience score of 50%, for an average of 58.5. So there's our 11th seed. Coming in at number 10, we have Mulan, based off the 1998 animated movie of the same name.
Mm-hmm.
This came out September 4th, 2020, for a budget of $200 million. Worldwide, only grossed just shy of $70 million. So I believe this is the only loss on our entire thing. And honestly, that's kind of on Disney for that one. And we'll talk about it when we get to it. But so the film does not feature, here's one of the reasons, any of the musical numbers from Mulan. But there are songs that are basically they do throughout the film, like an instrumental track of Reflection is heard commonly throughout the film. Instrumental track of Honor to Us All is heard when Mulan applies makeup. Some of the lyrics from I'll Make a Man Out of You are spoken by Commander Tung. And then some lyrics of A Girl Worth Fighting For are spoken by the soldiers in discussing their ideal girl.
Mm-hmm.
So cool little thing to pick up on.
I think I remember that actually.
Yeah. Now, this actually had a tomato meter of 72%. So critics, not too bad. I mean, it's like a C minus, but the audience score was 46%, giving it an average of 59%. And that's our 10 seed. Coming in at number 9 is Maleficent. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a very much retelling of Sleeping Beauty from 1959.
Correct.
And this came out May 30th in 2014. A budget of $180 million. Worldwide, it grossed just shy of $759 million.
Wow.
This would go on to make a Maleficent 2, and number 3 is in the works. So it obviously was enough of a success.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie performed her own stunts using harnesses for her flight and battle scenes.
Wow, I love her.
Tomato meter was 54%, but the audience scored it at 70%. Comes out to an average of 62, giving it the 9 seed. All right, next. Based on the 1994 absolute classic, The Lion King, we have The Lion King. This came out July 19th, 2019, for a budget of $260 million. It's a lot of money, but that's okay because it made $1.6 billion.
Good Lord.
Not bad.
No.
Jon Favreau has stated that there is only one real shot in the entire film. So he wrote on Instagram that there are 1,490 rendered shots created by animators and CG artists. I slipped in one single shot that we actually photographed in Africa to see if anyone would notice. It is the first shot of the movie that begins the circle of life.
Oh, wow. That just gave me chills.
Yeah, it's worth going back just to see that.
That's super cool.
You definitely can't tell. That's what's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie was done in
That's
CGI.
Crazy.
It's nuts.
Whew.
This had a tomato meter of 52%, so critics did not like it. But the audience loved it at 88%, giving an average of 70%, which made it our 8 seed. Coming in at number 7, and this actually ties with Beauty and the Beast, which will be our number 6, but Beauty and the Beast won the box office. So this is, of course, Aladdin, 1992, was the original animated movie. The live action came out in May 24th of 2019 at a budget of $183 million. That's okay because it grossed over $1 billion.
Jeez.
When Aladdin is shown a Babwa on a map by the genie, the map features Disney World locations, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Adventureland, and the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I thought that was. I remember that. I thought that was super
very,
cool.
Very cool. Tomato meter was not good. Critics did not like this movie at 57%. But the audience score was 94%.
Wow. I mean,
that brought it down to 75.5%, gave it our 7 seed. Beauty and the Beast, based off the 1991, Rhonda's favorite animated classic. This came out on March 17th of 2017.
Yeah.
It's been 7 years since that movie came out. That's nuts. I remember it like it was yesterday. We went to Paradiso 37.
I just started to say I had
dinner.
Facebook memories popping up about that. And I was so super excited about this one, and oh god, it was. I saw it I think I saw it 3 times in the theater.
Yeah, because then we went and saw it again with your parents at the IMAX theater.
Yep, and then
you saw it a third time, possibly. Yeah,
this movie.
Yeah. So where were we? Okay, $160 million budget, but it grossed over $1.2 billion.
Yeah, which makes sense to me.
Yeah. Belle's ballroom gown required 3,000 feet of thread and over 12,000 designer hours to complete. Jeez. It was accentuated, there's a good word for you, with 2,160 Swarovski crystals.
Wow, that's an expensive dress.
So tomato meter was 71%. Audience score was 80%. 75.5 made it our 6th seed. Coming in, surprisingly, at number 5 is Christopher Robin, which is based off the Winnie the Pooh films and books. This came out August 3rd, 2018. Budget of $75 million.
Wow.
But it grossed 198 pretty much million worldwide. Our new buddy, Jim Cummings, and then Brad Garrett are the only American voice actors to reprise their roles from previous media, namely Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and Eeyore. Every other character was recast with British voice actors specifically for this film.
Wow.
Tomato meter gave it 72, and the audience score put it at 83. That gave it an average of 77.5, which is why it's our 5 seed. Coming in at number 4 is the newest, The Little Mermaid, based off the 1989 animated film. This just came out last year, May 26th. Well, shoot, almost 2 years ago. No, last year.
last year.
It's 2024.
Yep.
Oh, boy. May 26th, 2023, for a budget of $250 million. Now, this only grossed $570 million worldwide, so still a success.
Yeah.
But that's fallen way behind our Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, which is would it be comparable to? Melissa McCarthy had no idea she could actually sing before production of this film.
I don't know why that makes me laugh.
She was coached by vocal coach Eric Vetro to prepare for her role as Ursula and did all of her own singing in the film.
That's awesome.
Also was Queen Latifah. So she was also considered for the role of Ursula because she did that live action play one, where they did the like. And apparently when her and Melissa McCarthy met Queen Latifah, she found that out, and Melissa McCarthy was like, what the heck am I doing here? I mean, Queen Latifah would have been amazing. Yeah. Melissa McCarthy did great, but tomato meter, only 67%, but the audience score was 94%. So that gave it to an average of 80.5%, giving it our 4 seed. Coming in at number 3, Cinderella from the 1950 movie. This came out March 13th, 2015, with a budget of $95 million. This grossed $544 million worldwide. A total of 10,000 Swarovski crystals were placed one by one on the blue dress and in Lily James' hair as well.
Wow, that's good. That's expensive
I'll
too.
Say. Yeah. Tomato meter gave it 84. Audience gave it 78. So pretty in line with each other, which gave it an average of 81. And again, that made it our 3 seed. Surprisingly, I think, coming in at number 2, 101, based off 101 Dalmatians, the 1961 movie, is the most newest, and this is very much in the lines of Maleficent, is Cruella.
Right.
So this budget was $100 million, and worldwide it grossed $229 million. The sound of the truck horn when Cruella honks at the jail is the exact same sound as her car horn in the 101 Dalmatians from 1961.
That's cool.
Tomato meter gave it 75. Audience gave it 97%.
Wow.
An average of 86, making it our 2 seed. In number 1, if you're counting, is based off the 1967 movie, and it is The Jungle Book.
I feel like that's surprising to me. I'm not sure why.
See, to me, I know we're going back to 2010 and with Alice in Wonderland. Cinderella came out in 2015, which I thought flew way under the radar. I think because Jon Favreau did The Jungle Book, it got so much more attention. To me, this is what really kind of launched. The combination of this, Cinderella backed by this a year later is what really launched these like true live action remakes, reimagining, I think. So again, came out April 15th, 2016 for a budget of only $30 million.
Wow.
Now, box office wise, this wasn't a huge success as it grossed worldwide just over $52 million. The animal characters were motion captured and performed live on set by puppeteers from the Jim Henson Company. For the on-set performances, Jim Henson's Creature Shop built elaborate life-size puppets to act alongside Mowgli and serve as eye lines. This tomato meter was 94%.
Wow.
Audience score was 86%, average of 91%, and that's why it's our 1 seed.
Okay.
Now, overall, with these movies, Disney spent $2,263 million. Well. If you would like to know why they are remaking animated classics, overall worldwide, these movies grossed $9,228,987,738. So you are looking at making almost $7 billion over the course of 15. And that's actually only over 12 films because you don't have a box office for the 3 that went direct to Disney Plus.
Right. And that was because of COVID. Correct?
No. So a lot of those were planned to go direct to Disney Plus. It's part of that whole Disney dumping everything into streaming, and I think a lot of that backfired on them. But, that was their measurement of saying, hey, Pinocchio's coming direct to Disney Plus. Want to watch it? Get Disney Plus. And most people were like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't already have Disney Plus, you weren't getting it for Pinocchio. Maybe you were getting it for Tom Hanks.
Right.
At Geppetto, but you weren't specifically going, I've been asking for a live action Pinocchio. Let me go ahead and
Lady and the
subscribe.
Tramp. That was one that I could see. A lot of people love that.
It could be. It could be one that tipped. It could be one that tipped that somebody said, I'm going to get. I mean, there's certainly plenty of series and movies on other streaming platforms that I've subscribed to, but I subscribe to them for a month. I go and I get Apple TV. I watched the next season of Ted Lasso, or well, it's over, but I watched the season of Ted Lasso. I binge it, and at the end of that month, I cancel it.
Right.
There's not enough there to keep me.
Right.
How that worked for Disney Plus, I don't know. They've got the numbers somewhere. Before we get into our bracket, let's talk about what's coming. The Lion King was enough of a success that they are having Mufasa, The Lion King, a prequel, is coming out in December of 2024. We have the Snow White movie that is coming out in March of 2025. Of course, we have a live action Moana coming out June of 2025. That original movie was made in 2016. So not only are we getting an animated Moana 2 coming here this year, we're then getting a live action a year later. So that will be very, very interesting.
It is, because I'm like, can I have... It's so funny because I play Magic Kingdoms, and there's so many times where things come out in Magic Kingdoms that if anybody plays it, they know what I'm talking about. But, you know, the characters basically, and I have so many people that I'll look in the comments because I just don't care enough that in the comments...
You're not a comment reader. I unfortunately am.
No. I am. Okay. I'm saying for this, I am, where so many people are like, give me this person, give me this, give me that. Where my point to say is here in live action Moana is coming out, which don't get me wrong, I'm super excited. But I'm like, give me Frozen.
Yeah.
Like that was huge.
And I guarantee it's coming.
I'm sure it will. But I mean, I feel like give me that over Moana.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because like I'm like Magic Kingdoms, if anybody does play like Ice Age, and people are probably like, okay, I don't have, you know, we don't have this set of characters. We don't have, you know, and I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I mean, there's a lot that they can do. We're going to get a live action Lilo and Stitch.
Now that I'm excited.
That one scares me simply for Stitch.
It scares me too. But it doesn't because it's Disney. And maybe this is why it hasn't come out. We've had a herd of live action for a long time.
But there has been some casting done. Like I have to go back. I know I'm 99% sure they've cast Lilo. I remember there's a young Hawaiian girl that they cast for that. Zach Galifianakis as Pleakley has been cast.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be outstanding in that role. Those are the ones that are going to be so interesting because those are true, you know, anime. And I guess you'll have to look at what they did with Little Mermaid and the animals, but we're not taking lifelike animals and then taking them into a CGI live action. You know what I mean? Which is a lot easier to do than taking what I think these alien forms
Zach
are.
is Jumba.
Oh, okay.
Billy,
Jumba. Who does it have?
Billy is Pleakley.
Okay. Billy who?
I don't know.
Let me see.
Magnus? I don't know.
Yeah, so
I
mean they've got
I don't know those people.
All right, I just got so anyway, we've got that coming. We do have Hercules, which will be directed by Guy Ritchie, which I am super duper excited about because Guy Ritchie directed Aladdin, which I thought was incredible. So Hercules, though, we have heard about for a decade. At one time,
1997.
I believe at one time the Russo brothers were working on it. I thought they were set to direct, and now you have Guy Ritchie. So I think it is in good hands with that. We have a live action Bambi that is in the works. And none of these have dates. So we've got a live action Sword in the Stone. That one intrigues me a lot. I will say.
Oh, I love Sword in the Stone.
I personally love them doing it for a lot of the much older animated movies. Like I don't need a live action Moana yet.
Yeah.
Be cool with it.
I agree.
But I don't need it yet because I love the animated movie on its own. You know, when you start to go back further and further, I like the really old ones. We'll say that. Robin Hood, the Aristocats, and then A Sleeping Beauty will be the third Maleficent film, which is currently untitled. So that's where we're at.
Exciting.
That's all the groundwork. Now we're going to get into the actual bracket. If it didn't take long enough. All right. We are going to start. So basically the Jungle Book as a 1 seed gets a first round bye. Okay. Everybody else has to play in to get to our top 8 movies. Right. So Jungle Book does not have to go up anyone in the first round. But our first pairing is number 8, The Lion King, versus number 9, Maleficent. So
I'm gonna say Maleficent.
I'll agree with you.
Only because you didn't like The Lion King.
I know I've said it a million times. I just think they missed the mark when you go back and you look at Jungle Book, which was Jon Favreau, and it was much of the same technologies with the animals. Somehow they created personality inside the animals and their facial expressions.
Yeah.
They went full realistic, which looked incredible for The Lion King. But it didn't hit the mark of...
I liked it. I really did. I think the biggest fall for me for the Reimagined is Scar's song.
No, be prepared.
It was that to me was like having Beauty and the Beast and not having Tale as Old as Time.
Right.
That was like having Cinderella and not having the shoe. I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing stuff out there because that was such a big, like, everything else was fantastic.
Such a huge moment.
It was such like, I mean, I'm getting chills now just thinking of the animated one, and I was super excited for this. I didn't care, Beyonce was the voice, whatever. I mean, like, I don't get into that, like, where I'm like, oh, well, we'll see how they're going to be. I don't care. Like, because I think they're going to still do a good job.
Yeah.
But, I have no desire to watch it because they kind of changed it where... I think
we've watched it once. We watched it once in the theaters, and I think we watched when it went to streaming.
Yeah. But yeah.
It just didn't... I mean, Pumbaa and Timon, I think, were brilliantly cast with Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner, and they were outstanding, and the movie could have been absolutely incredible. I just thought it missed the mark. Yeah, no be prepared.
Yeah.
And just not giving these animals any sort of expression whatsoever.
I thought they were okay with that aspect.
I know you. I know it'd be like me taking Bucky and just taking his bottom lip and just moving it while I talk for him. You know what I mean? Like there wouldn't be. And I understand they're animals and it's supposed to be realistic, but they were able to do it in the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
And I just think that's where it missed. I'll be very interesting to see if they go the exact same route with the Mufasa, the sequel, and see if they go with that still extremely realistic look, as opposed to saying, let's try and give them a little bit of expression. They can.
You got that fine line, though.
I know, but a true animal, you don't have to go as far as animated. It doesn't need to be like eyes popping out of their head and like googly eyes or like tongues flopping out or something weird. But there could be slight things within their lips, the way that their eyes move, like a sneer in the face. Like, and I just didn't think they went the route that could have given it more life. So I agree with Maleficent.
Oh, I love Maleficent.
I think Maleficent is an absolutely outstanding movie. I hate when they humanize horrible, horrible villains.
I know. I don't know why you hate that because I love it because I feel like, I mean, everybody in jail and all the murderers in the world, and then like they were somebody's child.
Yeah.
They weren't born a villain.
Right. Yeah, when we've had that discussion.
So that's
I think some people are potentially born villains. But I don't want to feel for them.
I love it.
I feel bad for Maleficent in that movie.
Yeah.
When she gets her wings cut off, it's heart-wrenching. And you're like, no. She's a horrible, horrible villain.
But because of that.
And now you like, and to me it takes away a little bit. And they completely changed the end of Sleeping Beauty within this by the kiss coming from her, not from the prince, which is fine. But it's one of those, but there's no way they can do this movie and say, this isn't Maleficent. This is some other, evil lady. And just, you know what I mean? They had to make it Maleficent. Yeah. I do think it's an outstanding movie. Yeah. Angelina Jolie is probably one of the best live action casting we've ever seen and ever will see.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right.
Yeah.
So she's moving on.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we're coming with number 4, The Little Mermaid versus number 13. The name is what I think of it, Dumbo.
Yes, I'm going to agree. I did not love Dumbo. It was very
it was Tim Burton.
Yeah, it was very Tim Burton.
Yeah.
I started to say strange, but
it is.
It's very strange in Tim Burton.
I don't like the original Dumbo. I'm
don't
not a
mind
Dumbo
the original
fan.
one. It's I remember watching the original one again, and it was super cute.
Yeah. It's an hour long. It's the crazy part.
Yeah, it is. But I liked it. I didn't love the new one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say The Little Mermaid. And talking about like Maleficent kissing,
Yeah.
you have Ariel saving Eric.
Yeah. No, this
They
makes some
switched
changes.
that up.
This does make some changes.
So but they had Under the Sea. They had
She still shouldn't have sang in that movie. It's the only thing I would change about the whole movie
I don't know.
is when Ariel sings, because she sings it with such joy. She doesn't want to be under the sea.
But I think she gets caught. I think I like
gets
it
caught up
because
in
she
it.
gets swept
That makes
up
sense.
in it.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
she's like, "Ooh, okay, I'll sing," but she truly doesn't. I
Yeah.
mean, that's like, anything else you get swept up in, and you're like,
that's
all
fair.
right.
Yeah, no, I think that's okay. Yeah, Dumbo. If this didn't involve Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, this is a direct to Disney Plus movie.
Yeah.
It was done very, very well.
Mhm.
Just didn't care for it.
Yeah.
And again, some of that might be the source material. I'm just not a Dumbo fan.
Well, right, and that's where I agree with who was it that said who said it that it's not needed.
Yeah.
Clayton?
No, I think that's a great one. This is one that was not needed. Yeah, Clayton nailed right on the head with that one.
Yep.
And we can talk about those, what we think. All right, let's move on to number 5, Christopher Robin, versus number 12, Alice in Wonderland.
Ooh.
This is a really
good
tough one.
matchup.
It is a great matchup.
Because I didn't love Christopher Robin.
I did.
I know you did.
And we all know I'm not a Winnie the Pooh
I
fan.
know, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I think it was just, excuse me, maybe a little darker than I expected.
It was definitely dark. It
So I'm gonna go personally with Alice in Wonderland because I love Johnny Depp. I love the cat. I just love it. I love the Alice in original one back because I think I watched the rest of them and then they got
Looking Glass
darker and they got weird.
Again, Tim Burton.
Correct.
I've just never been a Winnie the Pooh fan. I don't know why. I just haven't. I don't really care for the characters. I just don't. Like, I'm sorry.
But it was neat.
This
the way
was
they,
so good.
Mhm.
I really loved this movie. And it was one where I did not expect to be emotional watching this movie.
Yeah.
At all. And Ewan McGregor was outstanding. Of course, he's great in everything.
Yeah, he is.
I thought the way they brought these stuffed animals to life was so realistic. That's where I have faith in a Stitch.
Yeah.
And that type of stuff. But it was such an outstanding movie.
Yeah.
Man, Alice in Wonderland. That is not an easy thing to bring to life. And of course, Tim Burton did it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, absolutely killed it.
Yep.
Johnny Depp kills it and everything he
Oh,
does.
yeah.
But it's one where, again, he made Mad Hatter him. Like, you could get into that movie some and you release all thought of the fact that that's Johnny Depp.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're like, that is the Mad Hatter.
Oh, yeah.
What's her face as Queen of Hearts? Helena
Off
Bonham
with
Carter.
the heads.
She's, of course, outstanding in everything she does.
Yeah.
Everybody is so good in this movie, and the visuals are just stunning. Yeah. So I will pick Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
I think it's a great matchup because of the way they were done, but it's a hard matchup because of how different they are. You're going from a fantasy world to a very super hyper realistic world, so comparing those two is hard, but based on just the character acting and all alone, Alice in Wonderland and the way that they brought all that to life.
Okay.
All right, on the other side, we are going number 2, Cruella, versus number 15, Pinocchio. I will start with this. Never been a huge fan of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Don't love, don't hate.
Yeah.
Don't care. I shockingly enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I really thought it was done well.
Yeah.
Of course, Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect as Geppetto.
Mm-hmm.
Cruella, I want to watch again. I really did enjoy it.
Probably need to.
I'm going to pick Cruella.
Okay.
But if you told me right now, Jeremy, you're never allowed to watch either of these movies ever again and for the rest of your life, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't, and I thought they did a great job with Cruella. But again,
They did.
Here
They humanized
we are,
her.
humanizing
Which
a horrible, horrible villain who wears puppies.
puppies.
as her clothing. Let's not give her a sad tale. Is my no pun intended. Yeah, I really wasn't intended. Yeah, let's not make people feel bad for her. Just let her be pure evil, and we want to wonder. It's why Heath Ledger's Joker is the best Joker there is.
Did you ever watch the other one?
No, I still need to because I'm worried about what I know it's outstanding. Matt tells me all the time it is an amazing movie. Very, very dark, very morbid and all, but it does give you...
Because it's Joaquin again, right?
Yeah, but again, it's going to give you some...
right.
Heath Ledger's Joker, how many stories do we get in there about how he got those scars? We don't know what's real. He's just an absolute psychotic madman. And to me, that's what makes him incredible and makes him such a super scary villain. I feel like at one point in Cruella, you could go to be like, look, let me take you aside. Remember this time when you were working in that fashion place? They didn't want to look at any of your designs. And then she goes, oh, you're right. And then, no, just go kill the puppies and wear them.
No, don't kill puppies.
That's what she does. What are you picking? It's Cruella and Pinocchio if you lost track of whatever we were doing here.
I think Cruella.
Okay.
Just because, Pinocchio is good. I need to watch it again.
Yeah.
And maybe I would pick differently.
Yeah.
But maybe I wouldn't.
I know. Maybe not.
So.
All right, we're going to move on. Number 7, Aladdin versus number 10, Mulan.
Oh, Aladdin.
Yeah. They missed the bill with Mulan. I understand what they were going for. They were going for historic value.
Yeah.
During those times and all, and they changed a lot of stuff up to be much more accurate to history and all. Sorry, just go the route that we want. And this is one where I think don't change it. Yeah, not needed. Don't change it.
Or change
You're
it.
not gonna have Crikey. You're not gonna have
not change it, but put more scenes in because it's live action.
You still could have expanded on the story.
You still could have expanded, correct.
You can't have Mulan without Mushu.
Yeah, that was weird.
You can't.
Yeah.
And
yep.
This is another one where I think this was far enough from the original source material of the animated version that they could have just made it a different person. And people would have seen connections. They'd be like, hey, this is kind of similar to Mulan. But if you're going to change it, then just change it. Make it very, very different about a female who needs to go fight for her family in a war where females are not allowed.
Right.
And you could have changed the setting. You could have changed things. And then if you can watch this in that mindset, it's a really good movie.
Right.
It's a great war movie.
Right.
It's a great heroic woman power movie.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, you're just going, where's Mushu? Where's my songs?
Right.
And that's just where I think it just completely failed.
Yeah.
In Aladdin?
Oh, Aladdin just hit the nail on that head, man.
Unbelievable.
I mean, down to every character, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine, Aladdin, Genie, Abu.
Yeah.
Even Raja.
Yep. And I'm sorry.
The dad was a little weird for me.
But he played well to the...
He played well.
He's goofy.
He's
kind of goofy. He's a little aloof.
But
I actually thought Jafar was really good. I know it's not the menacing Jafar we're used to, and I definitely think maybe they could have made him a little more menacing, maybe. But I thought he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And as we said before, Will Smith was even said he wanted to try and he wanted to pay homage to Robin Williams, which that is the greatest
Genie ever.
That's the greatest voiceover work I think ever done in a movie.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yep.
Nobody will probably ever top that. And Will Smith didn't try to.
Correct.
He said, I'm going to pay homage to him. Yep. I'm going to let people know that, hey, I know about Robin Williams. You know? I've heard of this guy and I've seen his performance. Let me try and make it my own.
Right.
I think he did it.
I did too. That's what I was very nervous about because at this point, Robin was passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I think that's hard because he's not there to give a blessing or he's not there to...
He would have given a blessing.
I think so.
Yeah.
But he's not there to maybe make it, to do it himself. I think they would have if he would have been. But I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. The songs are great. It's one of the few that has an added song with Speechless I love.
Yes.
And it adds and fits so much.
Yeah, it does.
Now, Nevermore, Beauty and the Beast, I think does a pretty good job. of when they added that one for the Beast. Wasn't it Nevermore? You know what that song is called?
Josh.
Or is it Evermore?
I think it's Evermore.
Okay, Evermore. In Beauty and the Beast. I think it did
yeah.
add to the character of the Beast and him being trapped, so it did a good job. I still think Eric frolicking on the ocean side is ridiculous. I
still like it.
If you could scrap that part from The Little Mermaid, I would be okay with it. It was I just thought it was too much. So, Aladdin's moving on. Next, number 3, Cinderella, which I will say, I think, even though it's not my favorite, is the best movie on this entire sheet.
Okay.
Cinderella was perfection. Every moment of it is absolutely perfect.
I would have to, I don't know who I'd pick, but if Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast went up, I don't know what can I just tie?
Okay, number 14, Peter Pan and Wendy. We did watch Peter Pan and Wendy.
We did. I liked it.
It was pretty good.
I'm gonna go Cinderella because it is. I absolutely, my favorite part of this is how when they're looking for her with the shoe, that he is there in it the whole time. Like, I love how the prince is not the prince. Like,
this is one that expands on the story so well.
Oh, it's so good.
And the added details and the added scenes are much, much needed.
Yeah.
Lily James is one. Yeah. Naomi Scott being Jasmine. As soon as she showed up and spoke, I'm like, yep, that's Jasmine.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
As soon as you see Lily James, you're like, that's Cinderella.
Yep.
Who else would you get for this? I mean, it's like casting Margot Robbie as Barbie. You know what I mean? As soon as you're like, yeah, well, obviously that's Barbie.
Well, also, I mean, and you see her as the Joker's girl, Harley, and I'm like, yep, that's Harley.
That's Harley.
Yeah, I mean, she's
outstanding.
She is.
Yeah, Cinderella, I think that's an easy pick.
Yep.
Next up is number 6, Beauty and the Beast, versus number 11, Lady and the Tramp.
Because I obviously
love
Beauty and the Beast.
Lady and the Tramp,
but Lady and the Tramp was good.
Yeah, I thought it was
really,
done very well.
really liked it. Tramp was not what I expected. But it was still done well, and I liked it.
It was a perfect direct-to-Disney Plus movie.
It was
This
great.
did not belong in theaters. It would have bombed.
I love that the dogs. It was awesome. But yeah, Beauty and the Beast is easy. Like, and that's somebody else, like Emma Watson. Like, you know, I know there was some backlash on her being casted, but I mean, I saw her in it and immediately was like, yep, that's Belle.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Again, perfectly cast.
Oh, yeah. And
Luke
my God,
Evans.
Luke Evans and
Josh Gad. Those two are perfectly cast.
So great.
This whole movie is just
and the animation it's not animation, sorry. The CGI for the Beast, holy spot
so
on.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought they brought this to life like nothing else.
Oh my God. And I love how they changed just a little bit of Lumiere, of how grand he was as a candlestick instead of, you know, like the animated, and then, you know, the clock and just Mrs. Potts and just everything. Like, I love that look.
Yeah.
Oh.
So one of the other bits of trivia that I read is Emma Watson during the Be Our Guest scene, because she's basically staring for the most part at nothing or at just markers, right? Because it's all going to be CGI. That she was extremely bored. So the crew would tell her jokes behind scenes to elicit a laugh, and then they just filmed it, and that's what they ended up using in the movie. So it wasn't her. So her laughing or her smiling and stuff in that wasn't her reaction to anything actually happening in front of her, because there really wasn't much going on.
That's
it's all green screened and then CGI'd. So there were actual laughs of the crew and stuff telling her jokes, which I thought was pretty interesting. All right, we're down to our Elite 8, and we're going with number 1, The Jungle Book. This is where I think we're going to differ, versus number 9, Maleficent. What are you picking?
Oh, I'm going to pick Maleficent.
I'm going to pick The Jungle Book.
Ooh, and I figured you probably would. I do like The Jungle Book, but I just love Maleficent.
If we're talking about being closest to source material, it's The Jungle Book, right? I thought that this was one of the first times where you took animals like this, like I mentioned before, and you looked at them and you're like, that's a human animal. Like they humanized animals in such a good way. This is one of Jungle Book, never really cared about. I'm just
I
okay.
like the
Like,
animated
Jungle Book's
one.
good, you know. This made me love it. Like, I
Yeah.
thought just brought all new life to it. Whereas, yeah, Maleficent just changed so much for me. It just,
Okay.
it was its own movie. It wasn't a true remake or retelling or reimagined. It's very much a sequel that then intertwines itself into the original source material of Sleeping Beauty.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm not going to sway you though, am I?
Mm.
Do you want to just flip for this
Well,
one? This is pretty
I
serious.
started to say,
This is
I'll
the
give
number
it.
one
I'll
seed.
give you the Jungle
Give me
Book.
Jungle Book? Okay. All right. I mean, even if you want to go back and look at the audience scores and the critic scores.
Well,
I mean,
and I
there's a
was
reason
just
it's number one.
thinking, like you said, like, yes, Sleeping Beauty was in there and a lot, but yeah, I mean, whatever, I'll give it to you.
Okay. All right. We're going to move on to number 4, The Little Mermaid, versus number 12, Alice in Wonderland.
Little Mermaid.
I agree completely. I love this movie.
Yeah, I did too.
Really, really
I
good.
was nervous with it again.
I was
But
most
it was
nervous
so good.
about the underwater scenes
Mm-hmm.
and them looking realistic enough. And I thought they did a good job by not overdoing being underwater, if that makes
I agree.
sense.
I think the end scene though, with all of the mermaids like popping up.
Yeah.
I know it's in the same end scene as the animated.
Yeah.
I thought it was stupid.
It was weird.
was weird.
It came off weird.
It
actually
was.
reminds me of the scenes in Barbie where the mermaids are popping up out of the the
Yeah.
fake ocean thing.
Yeah.
Like, hi Barbie. Like, it kind of
Yeah.
I know it had
was
that
weird.
feel to
Yeah.
it, but I thought that this was so well
Yeah.
done. And I thought going realistic with the animals was a very interesting take, but it's one that they had to do.
Yes.
And I actually think it worked.
Mhm.
You know, and I think if you take out any of the political, social, economic stuff around this
Mm-hmm.
that I think gave it such a bad rap leading up to it, if people would have just accepted the folks that were cast
Yeah.
and gone into it with an open mind,
Yeah.
I guarantee there's so many people who didn't see this movie because of that.
Which
and
is
they're
sad.
missing out. So that's your
agree.
loss because it's an outstanding film.
Yep.
And if that stops you from seeing it, then you got bigger problems, buddy. All right. We're going to go with number 2, Cruella, versus number 7, Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie. I am so excited that Guy Ritchie is going to be doing Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
The one jump song, I don't know what they did for those moments that
They
speed,
sped
that
'em up.
skips.
They
But is it, did they speed up or did they remove frames?
I forget what it was said.
I have to look up what the deal is.
You should, because it was really cool.
Yeah.
I think they just double timed it, or like what you can do on your phone.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's what I'm wondering because it's
think it's sped.
it's hard to tell if it's sped or if they actually cut scenes.
Mm-mm.
Like, you know,
I'm pretty sure I read that it
okay.
was just sped up.
it gives it this.
It's really cool.
It gives
It's
it an
weird
almost,
but cool.
almost a stop motion animation feel to it, but with actual human beings.
Yeah.
But it's so quick, and the way that they're able to do it with the beat of the song
Yeah.
is so good. Love Aladdin. All right, we are moving on to number 3, Cinderella versus number 6, Beauty and the Beast.
Dadgummit, I did not want them
This
to
should
show
be
up against.
this is a finals
Yeah.
matchup. This is like a
God, I don't
like a
want
Duke
to do
UNC.
this.
I know. It's a my pick would be Beauty and the Beast. I actually think Cinderella overall is a better movie, but I like Beauty and the Beast more. And that comes with the play of Luke Evans and Josh Gad and, you know, Gaston and LeFou.
Yeah,
Those
and
characters.
I think I do too. I'm gonna have to say Beauty and the Beast.
I mean, I thought
because I love Cinderella, but I don't love the animated. All right, this is why I'm picking Beauty and the Beast.
I don't love the animated Cinderella.
I don't love the animated Cinderella.
Not at all.
I like it. I've seen it.
No, I won't say not at all. I agree with you. I like it. I've
But
seen
I
it. It's
like
fine. Yeah.
the animated Beauty and the Beast,
Yes.
and I love the live action. So
Yeah.
I will pick that on that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you said you have to get rid of one Cinderella movie, I'm getting rid of the animated one.
Yes.
If you said you have to get rid of one Beauty and the Beast movie, I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Right.
Like, I couldn't pick between the two whatsoever. Now, I personally would pick the live action. I like it more than the animated, but the animated is so stinking good. This is one that I think added so much to the story because I understand first of all, the animated ones, you really were gearing a lot more towards children. So you had a shorter time span to keep their attention. You had to make these movies like an hour and a half, right? You couldn't go the 2-hour length.
Right.
So it's understandable. You couldn't do certain things, just storytelling wise. You just didn't do them back in the animated one. So in the animated one, it is like, Bella's trapped, Bella's in love. And you don't get to see the bridge between those two.
Right.
In the background, hey, time has passed, things have happened. We didn't get to see them on screen, but she's falling for him. The animated one leads much more to the people that'll be like, well, it's Stockholm syndrome. She was trapped. She fell in love with her kidnapper, basically.
Right.
They tell the full story in the live action. You watch them slowly fall in love. You watch him come to and go, hey, I need to do these things. And so that's where I think it just so good. All right.
Yes, I agree.
Final 4. We're going with number 1, The Jungle Book, versus number 4, The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
I will take Little Mermaid.
Oh.
Again, same way I think of Cinderella. I think The Jungle Book is so well done.
Mm-hmm.
It's an incredible movie. It is outstanding. I like The Little Mermaid more.
Okay.
I like the story of it. I like the songs. I am one of probably 7 people in the whole world that enjoys the Sebastian and
Aquafina.
That enjoys the rap song. I actually like it.
Wait, 7? Nobody likes it. I love it.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Wow.
I'm going to put it on after this. Just that song on YouTube because I think it's great.
I do too.
And man,
God, I love her. Those two are so great together too. The casting for that and the way,
if you could win an Oscar for supporting actress of a supporting actress who was only in the movie for a couple minutes, whoever that is that plays Vanessa.
Oh yeah.
Talk about spot on casting in that scene where she freaks out and is going to turn back into Ursula is holy smokes.
Yeah.
That is some of the best. It is awesome. If she should have won an Oscar, I don't know what the Oscar would be. It would be bit role that absolutely stuck out in an entire movie.
That was great. The casting, it was just great.
All
Disney's
the casting was good.
Great.
And come on, the Jodie Benson cameo was absolutely
where she
amazing.
hands her a fork.
Yeah. And
So
literally
cool.
passes over the baton.
Aww. You're gonna make me cry.
It's amazing. All right, so we're picking Little Mermaid to go into the finals. It is going to go up against either number 7 Aladdin or number 6 Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast for me. I can't. Again, because that is my number 1 favorite. Because here's what's crazy too. If you were like, all right, you can only watch Aladdin, the live action or the animated, I'd be like, no, I want both because I love the live action and the animation. I am strictly picking it because of I just love it. It was my movie. And so you do you, boo.
Do you want me to select the movie that I like better or the movie that is a better movie? I like Aladdin better in the sense that it has enough action and comedy that it's one I want to put on most of the time.
You have. You've just
because of the action, because of the comedy, the songs, I like it better as a movie. Beauty and the Beast is the better movie. It is the better, I think, storytelling, retelling.
Really?
I think so.
Why? And because so is Aladdin.
Beauty and the Beast is a gorgeous film. It is
So
beautiful.
is Aladdin.
It is, but it relies very much, I think, in its beauty on color, on location. Beauty and the Beast takes this, cursed castle filled with furniture and inanimate objects that have come to life, but it still paints a beautiful scene. Come on. If you look back,
you don't have to tell me. Look back, I'm just curious.
All these animated movies, and you go, let's think of some of the hardest scenes we could possibly bring to life and make it work. That Be Our Guest scene. Who would have thought that they could ever do that? They absolutely killed what I think was one of the toughest scenes to translate from anime. And think about that. Go back to the original Beauty and the Beast. Now, they were making animated films. That's what they were doing.
Right.
You could not have done Be Our Guest live action back then. You can do it now.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what they decided to do. So I will take Beauty and the Beast to go into the
Oh,
finals.
all right.
All right. We are down to our finals, and we have number 4, Little Mermaid. And I will say the way that this played out, and you heard the numbers, you heard the way it played out.
Yeah.
I do think that these bracket sides were very lopsided because what I'll call our East region, we had Aladdin, we had Cinderella, we had Beauty and the Beast. I mean, Cruella.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough one to get through. On the other side, you know, looking at it from the beginning, The Little Mermaid truly stood out against all these other films.
Right.
So in the finals,
For
we got
us.
number 4 for us.
Again,
Yes,
this is
us.
our opinion.
We've got number 4, Little Mermaid versus the number 6 seed, Beauty and the Beast.
I'm going to say Beauty and the Beast.
I will agree with you.
Okay. Yay.
Again, I love that movie. It is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Really?
Beauty and the Beast, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Aw.
Again, it's not always the one I'm going to pick to watch. Right now, if we leave this room and you said, would you rather watch The Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast? I would pick The Little Mermaid.
I want to watch
Due to
Beauty
the
and
colors,
Beast.
due to the humor, due to, you know, the songs.
Yeah.
But I don't think again, I think the 2 best movies on here potentially are Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast, and Jungle Book is just outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand it kind of gets swept under the rug, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast is dang good. I mean, it's a perfect movie.
I loved it.
We've talked about some of these. What would you change, right?
I
I've got a
wouldn't
couple
change
things in The Little
anything
Mermaid.
in-
I wouldn't change a single thing in
Nope.
live action Beauty and the
Nope.
Beast.
Nope. I'm like trying to think.
Yeah.
Nope.
Not one.
Nope. Nope.
It's perfect.
Like, it is.
It is
really
a perfect
is.
film
It really
for
is.
us.
Yes.
Rhonda and Jeremy of Main Street Magic.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, as always, I'd love to hear other people's thoughts, and if you don't want to watch these movies, again, that's up to you. I think you're missing out on some of them. You know, maybe for somebody that goes, no, I would hope that a lot of people have at least given Beauty and the Beast a chance or given the Cinderella. I'll tell you right now, I do think if there's one on here, if you've not seen a single one of these movies and you refuse to watch live action, go watch Cinderella with Lily James. Like, I think that's the one you should go watch, and I think that is the gateway movie.
The gateway
where you might
movie.
watch that and then go, all right, next I would do Beauty and the Beast. If you're a Jungle Book fan, I would do Jungle Book, obviously.
Yeah.
But I would go next to Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
From Cinderella.
Yeah.
From there, I would probably recommend Aladdin and just get over Will Smith being the genie if that was your
Right.
You know, if that's the reason you didn't want to see it.
Right.
And from there I would finish with The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
But I would watch those 4 if I were you, and you've never watched them. And if you don't like them, guess what? It's 2 hours of your life for each of them. It's not
Speaking of that,
big.
we need to watch the Marvels.
I know we still do. Lucy's gonna be so mad at me. Not kind words from her and Caleb, by the way. Did not enjoy whatsoever.
The Marvels?
So, yeah. So be interested to finally watch it. We've kind of just put it on the back burner, I think, a little bit. But I will, as always, I will post the bracket out in the show notes, as well as out to social media. So if you want to go fill out your own bracket, you can do that. Just if you want to do it by yourself or have a conversation with loved ones or friends or whoever, go for it. Share who your winner is with us. But Beauty and the Beast is the Main Street Magic March Madness 2024 live action remake, retelling, reimagining movie. It is our champion.
Yeah.
So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And as long as you're out there, we would be super thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.